My beloved child, let your heart grow still, like the surface of a lake when the wind has ceased, so that these words will not merely pass by your ears, but sink into the deepest hidden place that you often conceal even from yourself. I do not call you with the noise of the world, nor do I urge you forward through fear, but I draw near to you with the gentleness of the one who knew you before you ever saw your first light. There have been nights when you thought you had been forgotten in this life, mornings when you woke with a nameless emptiness, even though around you there were still people, responsibilities, and things the world calls sufficient. But listen, my child, that emptiness is not a sign that you are meaningless. Rather, it is the echo of eternity within your heart. For you were not created merely to chase after things that quickly fade, nor were you born to measure your worth by praise, success, or what your hands can hold. As it is written in Ecclesiastes dry, elf, God has set eternity in the human heart. So, when you long for something beyond the dust, it is your soul remembering its true home. Do not think that your quiet tears have fallen in vain. I have seen every one of them, and I have heard every sigh. You did not have the strength to turn into a prayer. When you walk among crowds and still feel alone, when an old song suddenly makes your heart tremble, when you look up at the night sky and do not understand why your heart becomes tender, it is I gently touching the place you thought had grown hardened. I do not stand far away observing you like a cold judge. I am near to you like a father bending down beside a weary child. Psalm 56:8 says that I count your wanderings and place your tears in my bottle. So do you still think your pain has been lost somewhere? No, my child. No wound of yours lies outside my merciful gaze, and no darkness is so deep that my light cannot find its way in. At times, you think that the loved ones who have departed this world are now only fading memories within your heart. But I speak to you with holy comfort. Everything that belongs to true love is not swallowed by death. Those who once loved you, who wished for your peace, who looked at you with eyes full of hope, did not want you to sink into sorrow, nor did they want you to lose the path of life. What they desired for you was not merely that you would have food, clothing, status, or outwardly peaceful days. More deeply, they desired that you would walk in the light, keep your soul pure, and know how to return to me whenever life makes you weary. For Jesus said in John 8:12, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. My beloved child, if you want to honor their memory, do not merely keep old photographs or speak their names through tears. Live a life in which the love they left within you blossoms into kindness, forgiveness, and faith. I know there are days when you carry more burdens on your shoulders than others can see. You smile to hide your exhaustion. You remain silent so no one will worry. You try to appear strong because you have become too used to getting back up on your own. But my child, being strong does not mean you are forbidden to be tender before me. You do not need to enter my presence wearing a garment of perfection. Come as you are, with your broken pieces, your question, your mistakes, and the things you have not yet been able to forgive yourself for. I do not reject a broken heart. For Psalm 51:17 says, a broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise. Let me lift you up, not with reproach, but with the hand that formed you. Let me wipe the dust of the years from your soul, so that you may remember that beneath every layer of fear and hurt, you are still my child. Remember the story of Elijah, the man who once stood amid extraordinary power, who saw fire fall from heaven, and yet afterward became afraid, exhausted, and asked to die beneath the broom tree. I did not come to Elijah with condemnation, telling him he was weak. Nor did I command him to rise immediately, as though his pain did not matter. I sent an angel to touch him, to give him bread and water, to let him sleep, then eat again, and only afterward continue his journey. Later, when Elijah stood on the mountain, I did not first reveal myself in the great wind, the earthquake, or the fire, but in a gentle whisper. Do you see? I know when the soul needs to be nourished before it is sent forth. I know there are times when you do not need more pressure, but a light touch filled with mercy. So when you are exhausted, do not regard it as failure. Perhaps it is the place where I am inviting you to rest in my arms and to hear my gentle voice once again calling. You still belong to me. Listen, my child. The world often teaches you to hurry in order to prove that you are lovable, valuable, and worthy of staying. But I do not love you because you have proven anything. I love you because you are my child. Before you did anything good, I knew you. Before you fell, I did not leave you. Before you knew how to call upon me, I had already called you. Isaiah 43:1 declares, Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine. Let that word fall into your heart like rain upon dry ground. You are not a lost noise in the vast universe. You are not a nameless life passing by and then disappearing. You are a beloved creation, a remembered soul, a child for whom I still patiently wait at the threshold each time you wander far away. And if today you still regret the past, if you still ask yourself what might have been had you loved more deeply, listened more carefully, or spoken gentle words sooner to those who have passed on, then place those if-onlys into my hands. I am the one who can turn tears into seeds, repentance into a new beginning, and painful memories into a guiding lamp. Do not let longing pull you into darkness. Let longing teach you to live more brightly. Love those who are still beside you while they can still hear your voice. Forgive while there is still opportunity. Pray not only when you are desperate, but also when you are at peace. Do good quietly, for true light does not need to display itself in order to warm a cold room. As Matthew 5:16 teaches that your light should shine before others, so they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. I also desire you to become a small but enduring lamp in this world. My beloved child, I do not promise that you will never encounter storms, but I promise to be with you in the storm. I do not say that you will immediately understand every loss, but I promise not to let that loss become the grave of your soul. I do not erase every memory that causes you pain, but I can place a new light within that memory, so that when you remember, you do not see only separation, but also the love that was once given to you as a gift. So, rise slowly, but do not lie forever in the darkness. Walk step by step, even if each step is small, as long as it is turned toward me. When your heart trembles, speak to me as a child speaks to his father. Please hold my hand, and I will hold it not for a moment and then let go, but with everlasting faithfulness. Therefore, today I remind you with all my mercy, the loved ones who have gone before you do not want you to live as one left behind in endless mourning. They long for you to find peace, to choose what is good, and to keep yourself from paths that darken the soul. More than that, I, your Father, long for you to return to the light that never goes out. Wash the tears from your face, but do not be ashamed that you have cried. Open the door of your heart, but do not fear that I will see the room still in disorder. Believe that everything I allow to pass through your life can be redeemed in my love. Romans 8:28 says that all things work together for good for those who love God. This does not mean all things are pleasant, but it means No sorrow lies beyond my healing power. My child, walk in the light. Walk not with pride, but with humility. Walk not to run away from the past, but so that the past may be sanctified by me. Walk not to forget those you love, but so that their love may continue to live through the way you love. Pray, forgive, and hope. When you are tired, I will be your resting place. When you are lost, I will be the way. When you are weak, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. And when you think no one understands you anymore, remember this: I have known you from the beginning. I am holding you in the present, and I will lead you to the shore of peace. My beloved child, lift up your head. Heaven has not closed over your life. The light is still calling. The Father is still waiting, and you can still return. My beloved child, come a little closer, and do not rush past the whisper resounding in the deepest hidden place of your heart. I do not call you with thunder to make you tremble, nor do I lay my hand upon you with heavy judgment. I call you with the love of a father, the one who knew you before you were formed, the one who saw every day of your life before even one of them came to be. Listen, your body is not a burden your soul must carry, nor is it a temporary garment for you to despise during your years on earth. That body is the place where I place my breath, the instrument upon which I desire to play the sounds of life, the house built with wondrous wisdom. As it is written, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. My works are marvelous, and your soul knows it well. Therefore, do not look at your body with eyes of hatred, and do not use harsh words to speak of the form I shaped with loving intention. There are times when you think exhaustion is simply something to endure, that pain is only a small noise along the journey, that sleepless nights are merely the price to pay for responsibility, worry, and life itself. But my child, I did not create you to live in continual depletion and then call it faithfulness. I do not rejoice to see you serve with trembling hands, smile with an exhausted face, and pray with a heart that loves me while the body is neglected like a lamp running out of oil. Remember that even the lamp in the temple needed oil in order to keep burning. Your soul is precious before me, but the vessel that carries that soul is not insignificant. When you care for your body with gratitude, you do not become selfish. You are learning to preserve what I have entrusted to you. For Scripture reminds you that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, the place where my holy presence desires to dwell. Heal and shine. Look back at the days when you treated yourself like a stranger. You forced yourself to keep going when you needed rest, remained silent when your body was speaking, and postponed care because you thought there were more important things to do. But my beloved child, how can a keeper of vineyards allow his own vineyard to dry up? How can someone who desires to bring light to others allow the lamp in his own house to burn out? I do not blame you, for I know you have tried. I know you have carried many things, and I know there were seasons when all you wanted was to make it through the day. But today, I place before you a gentle invitation. Return to kindness toward your own body. Eat as one who is grateful. Rest as one who trusts. Move as one awakening the river of life. And heal as one who understands that my grace also touches your bones, your breath, your sleep, and your heartbeat. Do you remember the prophet Elijah? He once stood boldly before the false prophets, saw fire fall from heaven, and witnessed my power revealed among the people. Yet, after days of tension, fear, and exhaustion, he sat beneath the broom tree and asked to die. I did not scold him for being weak. I did not tell him to get up immediately and continue the mission. I sent an angel to touch him, set baked bread and water before him, and said, "Get up and eat. Do you see?" Before I brought him to Mount Horeb to hear my voice in the gentle breeze, I cared for his body. Before his soul was lifted up, his body needed to be nourished. That story is not only for Elijah, but also for you. There are times when the most spiritual thing you can do is not to force yourself to do one more task, but to receive the bread of grace, drink the cup of restoration, and sleep under my protection. Do not regard rest as a sign of failure. My child, I myself placed the rhythm of rest into creation. After the days of forming heaven and earth, I set apart the day of rest so that you would understand holiness is found not only in labor, but also in the trusting act of stopping. When you rest, you confess that the world does not rest upon your shoulders. When you sleep, you place your soul in my hands and acknowledge that I continue to work even while your eyes are closed. It is written that I give sleep to those I love. So do not despise that gift. Do not let anxiety steal what I have given so your body may be mended in silence. Every deep breath, every moment of peace, every wholesome meal, every step beneath the morning light can become a wordless prayer. If your heart is turned toward me, I also want you to look at your body with pure eyes, not through the harsh measurements of the world. The world often teaches you to compare, criticize, hide, and feel ashamed. But I do not call you by those fragile standards. I call you a beloved creation, one who has been redeemed, a vessel of value, not because of outward appearance, but because of the hand of the potter who formed you. Your body may bear the marks of illness, age, childbirth, labor, tears, or seasons that have passed. But my child, those marks do not make you less beautiful before me. They tell the story that you have lived, endured, overcome, and continue to walk forward. Even when you are weak, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, stop cursing the place I desire to bless. Stop rejecting what I still call precious. Yet cherishing the body does not mean worshiping it, nor does it mean chasing after a fleeting appearance. I teach you holy balance. Do not allow the body to rule the soul, but do not allow the soul to despise the body either. See it as a companion that must be guided with wisdom, disciplina, and mercy. When you choose what is good for your body, you are preparing good soil for spiritual seeds to grow. A weary mind is more easily reached by the whispers of darkness, and an exhausted body can make the heart heavy. But when you are restored, you will hear my voice more clearly, love more widely, serve more enduringly, and walk more steadily. I want you to live abundantly, not merely survive from day to day. I want you to become a stream, but even a stream must remain connected to its source. So today, begin with one small act in the light. Place your hand upon your chest and feel the heartbeat I still allow to beat. Give thanks for eyes that still see, hands that still touch, feet that still walk, and breath still moving in and out like the quiet song of life. Ask me to teach you how to care for yourself without arrogance, how to practice discipline without harshness, how to heal without impatience, how to love your body while keeping your heart turned toward eternity. You do not have to do everything on your own. I am with you in each simple choice, in every meal, every sleep, every time you say no to what harms you and yes to the life I give. Rise, my beloved child, not under pressure, but in grace. Cherish your body, for it is the house where I have lit a lamp, the temple I desire to fill, the instrument I still use to reveal my kindness in this world. My beloved child, hear me with a quieted heart, for I did not call you into this life merely so you would shrink back and endure the passing days. I called you to rise in the light, to overcome the night by faith, and to become a living sign that my grace is stronger than every brokenness. The victory I have prepared for you is not the applause of the world, not a throne built by pride, and not a fading glory like the grass of the field. That victory is quieter, deeper, and holier. It is when you continue to pray, though your heart has grown weary. Continue to trust, though the road ahead is still covered in mist. Continue to love, though you have been wounded. And continue to forgive, though your heart once wanted to close tightly. It is written, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. My child, true victory does not begin when circumstances change. It begins when your soul no longer surrenders to the darkness. Therefore, when you see the winds of life rising, do not quickly think that I have moved far from you. When the ground beneath your feet seems to crack, do not assume you have been abandoned. These movements are not always signs of collapse. Often, they are signals that a new season is drawing near. Remember how many times I preserved you in days when you thought you were alone. There were dangers that passed by your life without you even knowing. Snares that my hand stopped before you could see them. And tears you thought had fallen into emptiness but were, in truth, gathered into the bottle of my love. When you did not have the strength to keep yourself, I still kept you. When you slept through the long night, I still watched over you. When your heart was confused, I still said, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed. Die, for I am your God. But my child, watchfulness is something you must not lose. One who sleeps can stand in the middle of dawn and still think it is night. One whose heart is blind can hear the trumpet call and still think it is only the wind. I want you to learn to see with the eyes of the Spirit, not merely with the eyes of the flesh. On the surface, life may still go on as usual. People still buy and sell, still calculate, still chase after things that quickly fade, still become so busy they cannot hear the thirst of their own souls. But in the depths, a movement is taking shape, like the sea before it rises into waves. The surface may only tremble slightly, while beneath it, a silent strength is gathering. So it is in the spiritual realm. There are calls resounding that only the humble can hear, and signs appearing that only the watchful can recognize. For my son himself said, therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. Do not be afraid when things that once felt easy suddenly become heavy, when doors that once opened suddenly close, or when familiar paths no longer bring peace. Not every pause is a failure. Sometimes I stop you to save you from the wrong road. Sometimes I slow your steps in order to prepare your heart for something greater. Sometimes I allow you to feel unsettled in an old place because I do not want you to pitch your tent where I only appointed you to pass through. When a new season comes, the old garment no longer fits, and the old wineskin can no longer contain the new wine. It is written, new wine must be poured into new wineskins. My child, I am renewing your mind, enlarging your heart, and purifying your motives, so that you may step into what I have prepared without carrying the chains of the season that is past. I know there are times when you wonder why your heart has become more sensitive than before. Why certain things you once tolerated now grieve your soul. Why old amusements no longer satisfy you, and why empty words are no longer enough to nourish you. That is not weakness, my beloved child. It is a sign that you are being awakened. When I draw you closer to me, the things that are foreign to my holiness will begin to make you uneasy. When I place within you a new heart, You will no longer be able to live as someone who has never been called. Let that holy discomfort lead you to the altar, and do not let it drive you into fear. For I do not stir your heart in order to confuse you. I shake you in order to separate you from spiritual slumber. Remember the story of Gideon, a man who once hid in a wine press because he feared the enemy in his own eyes. He was small, weak, and of no significance. But I called him a mighty warrior before he saw himself as strong. I did not call Gideon according to his present fear. I called him according to the purpose I had placed within him. Then I reduced the number of his men, not to make him fail, but so he would know that victory comes from me, not from the strength of human numbers. My child, perhaps today you also see yourself through your shortcomings, your falls, your limitation, and your hidden fears. But I see you through, my promise. I do not call you defeated, I call you lifted up, sent forth, and one who carries light into dark places. Therefore, do not let distraction steal the fire within you. Do not let the noise of the crowd drown out my voice. Do not let news, anxiety, ambition, comparison, and wounds pull you away from the secret place with me. There are things I reveal only in silence. There are instructions that come only when you humble your heart. There is strength given only to those who know how to kneel. When you pray, hell does not tremble because of the volume of your voice, but because you are placing yourself under the authority of heaven. When you forgive, darkness trembles because it loses the right to bind your heart. When you rise again after every fall, the enemy understands that my grace is still at work within you. That endurance itself is a holy fragrance rising before me. Now be watchful without panic. Prepare without despair, and discern without arrogance. I do not call you to look at others with judgment, but to become one who awakens others through love. One who is enlightened by me does not use light to blind his brothers and sisters, but to guide them. If I allow you to recognize the changing of the season, it is so that you may live more wisely, love more deeply, intercede more faithfully, and walk in greater purity. You must not bury the understanding I give you in fear, nor must you turn it into a chaotic cry. Become a lamp placed on its stand, burning quietly yet steadfastly, shining so the weary may find the way home. Listen, my child. I am preparing within you a steadfastness that cannot be bought with silver or gold. I am refining you in the hidden place, teaching you to win battles no one sees, healing the regions of your heart you once concealed, and building within you a foundation that will not be swept away when the floodwaters rise. Set your heart upon me, for you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. The old season is closing in a way many do not yet understand. But do not be afraid. Walk closer to me. Keep oil in your lamp. Let your heart remain tender before my word. And when my hour comes, you will not be swept away by terror, but will stand firm like a tree planted by streams of water, bearing fruit in season, its leaves not withering, because I, your Father, I'm still holding all things in my hands.